Hey, what's going on everybody? It's etaprime back here again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Steam controller, and this is one that I've been really excited about, along with some other hardware that hopefully will be releasing later this year from Valve. Like obviously the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame, but we've got the Steam controller in hand, and I've always been a big fan of the original Steam controller that released in 2015. I've still got one. I've had it for about 8 years now, I think. We'll do a side-by-side comparison in a bit, but this is the first time I'm able to go hands-on with the new Steam controller. And straight out of the box, it actually feels pretty good. It's a lot lighter than I thought it was going to be. Thought it would be pretty heavy, and it's not as bulky as it actually looks on paper. You know, seeing images of it online, it does kind of make it look a bit bigger, and it's kind of on par with the same size as an Xbox controller or even a Switch Pro controller, minus we've got the larger area at the bottom for the trackpads. And personally, I do like the way it looks, but then again, I've always liked the way the original Steam controller looked, and that's kind of a preferred taste. This is going to be the same thing. I mean, having that larger area at the bottom might put some people off, but it does feel really nice in the hand. So real quick, we get a couple extras in the box here. Up top, you do get your USB cable, so full-size USB to USB Type-C. And down here, we have our low latency wireless puck. And this is pretty cool because Valve has come up with some proprietary 2.4 gigahertz technology that allows this to connect to the Steam controller with very, very low latency. It also magnetically attaches to the rear of the controller, so you can charge it while it's still plugged in. And this is going to be your best bet for going wireless with this controller. Now, it does support Bluetooth, which is great for devices that you don't want to plug this puck into, or you could go wired with it. But the puck itself does feature a nice little rubber base on it, so it's not going to slide around on the desk. It has 3 pogo pins over on the other side with some really strong magnets, so it'll just attach right to the back of the Steam controller. You can charge it up while you're playing. So taking a look at the original Steam controller, this launched in November of 2015. It doesn't feature a D-pad, there's only a single analog stick, touchpad, trackpad with haptics built in, but I've kind of found it hard to utilize this controller for a lot of different games because of the lack of that D-pad and dual analog sticks. And that's where the new Steam controller comes in. Dual analog sticks, dual trackpads, we've got a really nice D-pad here, and we'll take a look at some testing in just a bit. But with the original, it is lacking quite a bit here. And with these trackpads, we do have haptics built in, just like we do on the Steam Deck. And when you look at it, it definitely screams Steam Deck. 4 macro keys around back. And remember, using Steam input, you can reprogram every single button on this controller. So the easiest way to get this connected wirelessly to basically any device is to plug in the puck. I've got the Steam Deck here, and most people aren't going to use the puck here with the Steam Deck. You'd use Bluetooth. But just to kind of demo, I just plugged it right in, and I've already got a little metal ring for a battery on the back of this thing, so it just attached right there. We'll turn the new Steam controller on, and the first time I paired this, I didn't have to do anything. It automatically detected it, and I did have to update the firmware on the puck, along with the firmware on the controller. And in order to update the firmware on the controller, at least the way that I did it was plug it in over USB. It prompted me that the Steam controller needed a firmware update, and I updated it from there. Pretty easy to do. But obviously, if you're going to be using this controller on a portable device, you're probably not going to want to plug the puck in, and that's where Bluetooth comes in. So we can hold B, RB, and the Steam button. That light's going to turn blue, and if we hold it for about 7 seconds, it's going to go into pairing mode. The puck is going to offer lower latency and just a more stable connection. But for most people out there, if you're going to be connecting this to a portable device, I'd say Bluetooth would be your best option. And while I had the Steam controller connected to the Steam Deck over Bluetooth, I did test out a few games, and the first thing I really wanted to get a feel for were these new analog sticks. They're TMR sticks, so they are using magnets. We've seen this a bunch. It's not brand new technology. Most controllers that are coming out now have TMR sticks. Feels great, super smooth, very responsive. And since they're using magnets instead of a physical connection, we don't have to worry about drift, and we do get much higher precision out of them. Next thing I wanted to do is connect this to something that put down a little more performance. So I've got my makeshift Steam machine here. It is running official SteamOS. I've got it connected using the puck, and you can just set this down basically anywhere. Recharge at any given time just by attaching that to the back with those magnets. So it does come in really handy. And it's paired with the puck, so I can move that puck from device to device, and as long as it's plugged in, it's going to detect it. And for something like SteamOS, it's great because we've got all of the buttons we need built in. We've got that Steam button for a left-hand menu. We've got the 3-dot button for our right-hand side menu. Heading into the settings, we'll go right to our controller. See, we've got the new Steam controller. Just moving it a bit closer so we can get a better look at everything. And one of my favorite features of this new controller is actually the Identify Controller section. We've got a ping that we can do, and when we press it, you can hear it sounds like an Aperture phone ringing. So this is cool to kind of identify what controller it is, or if you've lost the controller, you can plug another controller in, keyboard, or use the built-in controller depending on, what you've got this connected to. Ping that controller from here. Game Rumble, Steam Haptics, you can use the Japanese layout if you want to. Universal face button glyphs, so that's just going to change them right down there at the bottom. Test inputs, calibration, and advanced settings. And down here we've got our signal strength for that puck. So this is really awesome to kind of give you an idea on where to place it. The lower it is, the better connection you're going to have here. And if I cover it up with my hand, you can see, goes to good, okay. So there are ways to kind of get this not to connect so well, but either way, even if it's sitting at good, I haven't had any issues with input on it at all. Now going to our test device inputs, we can test all of the inputs, but I want to move around back here, and right here, we have what's known as grip sense. It's got capacitive sensors right on the rear, and this can help you with gyro gameplay, enabling it or disabling it. Now we've also got capacitive sensors in the analog sticks, and you can set this up to enable your gyro from there. So while you're not touching it, your gyro is not enabled. While you're touching it, you're ready to go. But the grip sense can also do this, and you can calibrate it from the advanced settings. If you have your hand placed correctly, you can enable the gyro or take it right off. You can also recenter easily using this. And I'm not a huge gyro fan. I don't use it much at all, but this is something I would like to experiment with in the future. And if we want to get really down into it, we'll move over to a game, Steam input, and we can basically do anything we want with this controller. So we've got the gyro sensitivity here. We can change it. Trackpad behavior. Steam input has been absolutely amazing for a very long time. This is going to be using the official layout for the Aperture Desk Job game. There's some templates up here. You can also use community templates, but you can really program this to exactly how you want. Now I wanted to get into some testing here, and personally, I wanted to check out this D-pad. So I do like the way it feels. It's not too mushy, it's not too firm, but over on the left-hand side when you let go, it does have a little bit of spring back. Luckily, when it does spring back, it's not doing any extra inputs, so it feels pretty decent like this. And something like Street Fighter 6 here, I'm able to pull off all of these moves without an issue. It's a really good D-pad, and I do like what they've done here. It's super easy to use, and again, it's not too firm, it's not too mushy. It's got a little bit of a concave in the middle, so you can play from the edges or the center of this D-pad. I think they designed this really, really well. So far, I've been having a really great time with the Steam controller in SteamOS, but now it's time to move over to Windows because there is one drawback, at least at the time of making this video. You can plug it directly in, it'll sync right up. Windows does detect it as an input device, but not as a controller. So if you wanted to play, let's say, Game Pass games directly through Game Pass or even GOG, this controller will not work as a controller. You will have to add it through Steam as a non-Steam game, which is super simple to do. And this might change down the road, but at the time of making this video, the game needs to be launched through Steam so you have Steam input to use this new controller. But the trackpads here work. There are some hotkeys that actually bring up some windows inside of Windows. You could actually navigate the full operating system just with the controller itself. And with something like Forza Horizon 5 here, I just added it as a non-Steam game. This is the Game Pass version. It works because it's using Steam input for the game. And with this, you can actually use the trackpad to control your camera. This can also be disabled inside of Steam input. But I'm a huge fan of racing games, and one really important thing to me when it comes to controllers are the triggers. I need to make sure that I've got enough linear control over them for launch control, feathering that gas and brake, And with this, it is spot on. I can bring it up to any RPM and just really hold it there. And I didn't do any kind of configuration for the triggers. This is stock out of the box using Steam input. And the same goes for these TMR analog sticks. I didn't do any calibration. They just feel really smooth. Before I wrap this first look video up, there's one last thing that I wanted to test here in SteamOS. And usually when I'm messing around with SteamOS on a different device other than the Steam Deck itself, if I got to get into desktop mode, I usually plug in a mouse and keyboard. That's really the only way to navigate. You can navigate the full operating system here directly from the couch. I'm not sure how many people are, going to use this every day for a desktop operating system, but it works here and it's pretty decent. So first impressions here for the new Steam controller. I think Valve did a great job with this one. It's definitely a major upgrade from the original Steam controller. Love the haptics, built-in trackpads here, awesome sticks. The D-pad is way better than I ever thought it would be. Tons of connection options, and I'm really glad that we have this 2.4 gigahertz dongle here. Very low latency wireless connection. The price on the new Steam controller is $99, and we've been seeing special edition Xbox controllers launch for like $89.99 without all of these features. The original Steam controller launched in 2015 for $49.99, so we've got a $50 price hike here, and it's kind of expected 10 years later. And of course, the new Steam controller is much better than the original. And I'll tell you, my go-to controller for the longest time has just been an Xbox controller. And I've got the Starfield version here. Somebody gifted me this one, but I wouldn't mind if it's just a regular robot white version. And I've always had a great time with these controllers, whether I'm connected over Bluetooth or wired connection in Windows or SteamOS. But is it worth upgrading to the Steam controller from this? Well, if my Xbox controller's working fine, I'm going to stick with the Xbox controller. But if I was in the market for a new controller, I would probably spend just a little more and get the Steam controller. I would do the same for, let's say, the DualSense 5. But then you can't use the Steam controller with, let's say, a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox. If you're mainly PC gaming using Steam, then this would be an awesome option to pick up instead of like an $80 or $90 special edition controller. But yeah, overall, I do think it's a solid controller. They did a great job with this. Analog sticks, trackpad, D-pad. It feels great in the hand, not too heavy, awesome battery life, good connectivity. And in the next few days, I will be spending a lot of time with the new Steam controller. I think we're getting a new SteamOS update that gives us a little more that we can do with this. And as soon as that's available, I'll probably make another video. So it'd be really cool if you could hit that like button or think about subscribing so you know when I post the next one. But if you're interested in checking out the new Steam controller, I'll leave links in the description. And like always, thanks for watching.